this example, this exercise, we are going to be using if function for different examples. And the first example is just going to be your simple if function. And let's say we want to see how many of the students, which students pass the exam, which students fail the exam. And our condition is that to pass the exam, the score has to be more or equal to 70. So we're going to type in equals if, and we want this cell to be more or equal to 70. Now if that's true, I want to say the student passed the exam. And every time you're writing a word, you're going to use quotation marks. And then let's say if this isn't true, then the student failed. And we're going to hit enter. And then we're just going to drag this cell, this formula down to fill in the rest of the cells. But for a second example, we are going to be using the if function to see if the inventory level is low so we can order more stock for this company. We're going to type in our formula and inventory warning equals if. Okay, so if this is less than 10%, then when display low. And if it's not less than 10%, then we just want to leave the cell blank. So for that, you're gonna do quotation marks, no space. And then you're gonna hit enter. And since this is a table, it's gonna autofill without needing us to drag the formula down. So this is all good. For third example, it says we want to award these salespeople a bonus of $5,000 if they manage to sell over $4 million, and then those who did not will only receive $1,000. So we're going to type in equals if, if this number is more than 4 million, then here we want to have $5,000. And if it's not more than 4 million, then we just want to have $1,000. We hit enter. That autofills. For the fourth example, let's say we want to create an if function in cell B2 that will exclude only Ryan from being invited. And we're just going to copy the formula down after that. So we type in equals if this is equal to the word Ryan. And we want to say not invited. And then if it's not equal to the word Ryan, we can say that person is invited to the party. And then we hit enter. Yeah, that's great. And then just autofill this. And it looks like we don't have any Ryans here, so that's good. Everyone's invited to the party. And then for the next example, so we want to create a formula in the selling status column, and it has to say bestseller if the average sales is more than or equal to $1,000, or below expectations if the average sales is below $1,000. We're going to do equals. Alright, we're going to do equals if, and then if this number is more or equal to $1,000, then I want to say bestseller, and then if not, I just wanted to say below expectations, and I hit enter, and that's going to autofill. For our next example, we have 3 different tasks here. The first one, it says in cell F20. Let's locate that. Okay. Enter the NF function that tests whether the order quantity is greater than 0. If it is, return the value of cell E20 multiplied by cell D20. And then if not, we just don't want anything to come up in that cell. So what I'm going to do is we already have the formula here. We're just going to type the if formula in front of it. Okay, so if this number right here is more than 0, then the value of true, we want it to be that. If not, we just want it to leave to be blank. So again, we just use the quotation marks, no space, and hit enter. And then we're going to drag this down. As you can see, this values over here disappeared because we don't have any values in the cells, so Excel just assumes that it's 0. Now for the second task, we're going to do in cell F28, we're going to enter the if statement that calculates the discount only if the order is greater than $200. Let's say, okay, I'm going to do equals if. So if this over here, this number over here is more than $200, then the value of true is this discount over here, so 10% multiplied by just 10%, and then if not, we just want to give it blank. Then we're going to press enter, and so for our second task, we want to enter the if statement of cell F28 that calculates the discount only if the order is greater than $200. I'm going to place our formula here and do equals if. Okay, so if this number is higher than 200, then the discount is going to be 10% multiplied by the total. And then if that's not true, then we're just going to leave this cell blank. So again, quotation marks. And then we hit enter. And there you have your discount applied. And the cool thing about this is since we're using this reference formula here, we can change this to 8% if we wanted to. And we don't have to change the whole formula because it's going to automatically change over here. Let's go back to 10% here. Now for the third task, it says in cell F32, enter the if statement that displays the correct shipping charge. Okay, so here are shipping charges, and here's our shipping cell to enter standard overnight. So what you're gonna do here is over here, I'm gonna enter equals if, and let's say if this cell equals, we're gonna do standard. So standard, then our value is gonna be $5.99, and if it's not, then it's gonna be $10.99. Okay, and since I don't have anything here, then it's gonna assume just $10.99. But if I type in standard that's going to change to $5.99. And we want it there. And then for next example, okay, it says in cell D3, create an if formula that will tell you if the value of cell D6 says, let these people go, then the family doesn't die, and if the cell does not have that in it, the family dies. Okay, perfect. So cell D3, and I calculate equals if, and then if cell D6, choose your choice, okay? It says, so equals, let these people go, then our answer is gonna be the family doesn't die, and the values, if false, is gonna be the family dies, okay? And then we're gonna hit enter here. If we type in let this people go, then it displays the family dies. Oh, sorry, I should say that. Let this people go, the family doesn't die. And then if that's not true, anything else is there, then it's going to say the family dies. For our next example, we want to create a formula in cell D11 that's going to display below if the result in E11 is below 140, otherwise leave the cell blank. So you can do equals if this number is below 140, then I want to say low, and if it's not, then we just want to leave the cell blank, and then we type enter, and then it's telling us to alter the formula somehow to have the condition that also if like over here E11 has to be more than 0, because you can see if I don't have anything there, it thinks that it's 0 and it's going to display low. And for that, we want to include another function in here, and let's see, and function. So this, and then we also want to say that it has to be more than 0, then and then we want to close parenthesis here, and then my value of true, again, is going to be low, and we just want to leave it blank if that's not true. And we hit enter. Oh, just close this here. Oh, I did this wrong. This cell. And then you hit enter. Okay, there you go. So you don't have any value there. It's not telling you that it's low, even if I don't have a value. Over here in E11, which should be 0. If I type in 1, it's going to say low. If I type in 150, it's not going to show anything there. And we're going to move on to the next example. It's going to be breakdowns. So let's see. Okay, so I want to know if the percentage of students who pass the exam it's more than 70, then you'll have to break downs. If it's not, then no break downs. So you're going to type in equals if this value is more than 70, then break downs. And if it's not, then no break downs. and then I'm gonna hit enter. As you can see, this is no breakdowns because I don't have a value there, but if I do 80%, then it's gonna change. If I do 70, it's not gonna change because I did more than 70%. If I want it to be equal, then I have to change this to more than or equal to 70, and then we can change that there.